shit. I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back. eSIM Studios podcast live stream episode number 122 on this Tuesday afternoon, June 18th, 2024. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Got let's see, about 3 stories we're going to hit on. One I added really late, but very important, and could and will affect many of you that are viewing this, at least here in the United States. Let me put some music on here. Okay. Sorry. So, big news for Pixel owners. Everybody that's hashtag Team Pixel. We got a new Android beta version that was released today. Android 15 Beta 3. So if you can tell by the thumbnail, I literally just rebooted my device right before I hit live. Expect the unexpected. What's going on, man? Appreciate you joining me today. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it. For all the Pixel owners, look, we've been Apple heavy in the Apple news here in the last few days, but got some Android headlines, right? So if you're a Pixel user, Android 15 Beta 3 was released today. Now, as I mentioned, I literally just hit reboot on my device, and it looks like we're good to go. So I will test this out. Now, we're going to go over all the features, everything that's new. It's basically a stable build. I believe this is the last, or one of the last, I think we'll find out here, one of the last, if not the last, update we will get before the Android 15 stable build comes out. So if you're not on the beta program, you can jump into it if you want to right now, if you're on Android 14, to get a little taste and flavor of Android 15. From what I'm noticing right now, everything is really super fast, very snappy, blazing fast as they always are. Looks to be good. So I will play with this a little bit in my off time. But let's get into the changes. So just to give you a little teaser, we're going to get into this Android 15 Beta 3 news. We're also, speaking of Pixel, we're also going to get into the upcoming Google Pixel 9, which is going to be released here in just a few months. The Pro XL model, so the bigger version of the, I guess it'd be of the 3 this year. Normally they'd say of the 2, but remember they're releasing the Fold with the other Pixels this year. So the Pixel 9 Pro XL just got benchmarked. We got a benchmark test in from the Pixel 9 Pro. It's probably a few weeks ago. And now we got one of the XL version. If you remember, they're changing the names this year. They'll all be Pixel 9. Well, I guess not the Fold, right? So anyways, this is the Pixel 8 Pro. This is the bigger version. The normal, smaller one is the Pixel 8. But this year, they're doing 2 small ones, a Pixel 9, a Pixel 9 Pro. And then the big one this year, which is they're just going to add the XL onto the name, onto the end of the name. So let's get into what we got. Oh, and also going to tease, for those of y'all that are T-Mobile customers, I'm sorry, we've seen, I'm one of them, we've seen price increases on monthly bills, but I have some bad news too. If you finance, and we'll get into it, but let me tease it. If you finance your device through T-Mobile, which incorporates a ton of people, so I'm sure we have some viewers where this will affect, some bad news. And we will get into it. When it comes to financing your device, this is going to affect a ton of people, and the news just sucks. Just another reason why it's probably a good idea to leave the big carriers and just go with a smaller carrier, right? Google Fi. visible. Cricket. Now, if security is the utmost importance to you, I recommend you get Ifani. Ifani is America's most secure mobile network. Let me show you. And we teamed up with Ifani to get you a discount. So check this out. So if you go to Ifani, and the link is in the description box below. If you go to Ifani, you get $99 off of your plan, off of the Ifani Safe plan, right? Promo code is eSIM Studios. Very, very cool company. Very nice people. I did a conference call with them last week. Just absolute wonderful company. So we teamed up together. So eSIM Studios and Ifani teamed up. I just wanted to let you know they do offer basically a SIM swap protection. And they offer a $5 million insurance policy if you get SIM swapped. There you go. The Ifani Safe Plan is a bespoke cybersecurity focused mobile service protecting high risk individuals against mobile attacks, i.e. SIM swaps, right? Ifani provides the best in-class protection with, get this, 11 layers of proprietary authentication backed with a $5 million insurance policy. So this website is linked in our description below. Go check them out, right? They're number one in mobile security. They're not like, trust me, they're not like T-Mobile out here who's looking to screw over, seemingly looks like they're out to screw over all their customers. Same thing with Verizon, AT&T. This company's different, and I can honestly say that. I've been in contact with them for a while and gone over their past history. Just a phenomenal company. So go check it out. Ifani.com/eSIM Studios. So here is everything new in Android 15 Beta 3. Let me go to, this has pictures, right? Just like a little kid's book. It has pictures for everybody that wants to follow along. But let me pull up their Reddit page. Interestingly enough, Google developers use Reddit for a lot of their change logs, a lot of the announcements. Let's do this. Is this the Android beta? Let's see. Here we go. Well, that's where we were going to go. Well, screw it. Let's go there. Okay. It's available today. Android 15 Beta 3. If you're enrolled in the beta program, very easy to do. Just a couple clicks and you'll get enrolled, right? Android 15 Beta 3 is available today with final system behaviors as part of the platform stability milestone. So what does that mean to the average person? Well, this means we're just one step closer to a stable build. Now, I say stable build just because that's what it's categorized in. That's what it's labeled as, but my beta has been pretty stable for the last few months. In fact, I don't only remember one issue I had, and that was solved a few months ago. So we're just that much closer to the, I guess the right term, in my opinion, would be public build, stable public build, which is basically available, which everybody will get and be able to use, even just your average person that has no idea what the beta program is. They just bought a Pixel and they use it. That's technically, I guess, the public release. But let's check out what's new in this beta 3, right? Now, this is available for all Pixel devices down to Pixel 6. So Pixel 6, 6a, 6 Pro, all the way up to 8, 8 Pro, and the Google Pixel tablet, Google Pixel Fold, all that good stuff. So volume menu can no longer be minimized. Right? I'll probably list a bunch of these on our site. Interesting. Speakers and displays label removed. Okay. Any fun stuff we have here? I have no idea. Adaptive timeout. That's cool. Oh, automatically turns off the screen if you're not using your device. Normally you'll see this one, screen attention, where the screen won't go dim if it knows that your eyes are on the screen. But this is a new one, adaptive timeout. In fact, I don't think I've seen that on any cell phone. So that's new. Device and app notifications, notification read, reply, and control. Cool. So you get better notification control. More prominent, circle to search off switch. If you don't know what circle to search is, that's the feature where you can literally Google search anything that's on your phone display. So whether it's a pair of J's or some Nikes, or it's a smartwatch you see somebody have on a movie, or you take a picture of somebody's smartwatch when they're not looking, you can search that. So it's a very cool feature. So now it's getting updated. Also, shortcut to color, contrast preferences, and settings display. Blah, blah, blah. Android safe browsing. Okay, that's cool. Show long app names. This is nice. This is what has bothered me for years. If you have a long app name and you choose to show the name underneath the application, if the name is too long, it'll only show you and or list the first like 7 characters of that app name, and then it'll just cut off. So it could be like my home, and you don't get to see the remaining amount. So now you have the option to extend the full name. So it'll, instead of being my home, it'll be my home network, right? Very cool. Long overdue for that. Updated Android 15 system icon. Interesting. No more vanilla ice cream. Vanilla ice cream is gone. That's the name of their operating system. I guess they either are, I doubt they're going to change it, but I think they just took it off out of the operating system. Home controls for your screensaver for the Pixel tablet. Redesigned screenshot preview. Now, this is going to be cool. Let's give it a try. Actions placed below the preview. It looks a bit odd when there are just 2 actions, and those actions is a share button and a markup button and or edit. So let's give it a try. Yep, it's there. Cool. All right. Resolved issues. Here's what I'm interested. So not many new features. There are some subtle changes inside the operating system. But the stability, the bug fixes, that's what I'm more interested in. And let's see what they fix. So we have fixed an issue where disabling polling. Fixed an issue where disabling polling using the set discovery technology method did not disable polling. Okay. Fixed an issue that prevented the system share sheet from loading in some cases. Fixed an issue that caused the system settings app to crash when accessing screensaver options. Fixed an issue that sometimes caused the screen unlock icon to be displayed when notifications were already on the screen. Fixed an issue that prevented mobile network security settings from being changed. Other resolved issues. Fixed an issue with the Android emulator that caused Simple Perf to crash when running CPU profile. Bluetooth issues resolved. Resolved an issue where Bluetooth LE scans could persist in the system after an app crash. Fixed a bug in Bluetooth LE legacy advertising. All right. Let's see. Fixed a bug that caused LE connection to failures on the GATT server by passing the address type. All right. pretty boring for the general public, but I tend to eat up all that info, me being a nerd. But we'll probably get into this a little later in the week. Big news is that it's out, and if you have the beta software, if you're running it on your Pixel, go ahead and download this, install this, so you're on the latest and greatest beta and just that much closer to the stable public build, right? So I'll probably add some more links in the description box below. So if you're watching this on repeat or replay, should have some info for you, right? Okay, now check this out. Speaking of Google, speaking of Pixel, speaking of Android, what's going on, Daniel? The latest Geekbench test gets, guess who? The Pixel 9 Pro XL. Now, this is the device I will be getting. Well, I guess I'm going to get all of them. I'm not getting the Pixel 9. I'm going to get the Pixel 9 Pro. Oh, you know what? I think I am. Anyways, long story short. Pixel 9 Pro XL hit Geekbench. Now, if you remember, the Pixel 9 Pro, the smaller one, ran through Geekbench probably about 2 weeks ago, something like that. And the scores were not flattering by any means. Now, I can kind of foresee the future here because, well, let's look at the scores first, right? So, in the news, I guess, that came out of this, which it wasn't really news because we've known this, but in case you're unaware, the Pixel 9 Pro XL is going to come with 16 gigabytes of RAM. Currently, the Pixel 8 Pro, their flagship device, has 12 gigs of RAM. They're going to up the RAM to 16 gigabytes. Now, this one's got 16 plus 8. Yeah, it's crazy. 24 gigs. Now, why would Google, and we'll get into the scores, why would Google, this Geekbench that the Pixel 9 Pro XL just ran through, the stat sheet says 16 gigabytes of RAM. I believe they're running 16 gigs of RAM because it is going to be running a ton of AI functions. Artificial intelligence takes a ton of RAM. It needs to hold on to that memory so it can perform its tasks, right? That's why Apple only has the AI capabilities available for the two devices with the very best processor they offer in a phone and the two devices that have the highest amount of RAM. So if you remember, the Apple Intelligence is only available on the iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max, right? The 15 and 15 Plus are left out. I hear a lot of people, why would they do that? No, that's not fair. They want you to buy a more expensive device. Yes, true, but that's not the full reason. The full reason is the 15 Pro and Pro Max have 8 gigabytes of RAM. The 15 and 15 Plus only have 6 gigabytes of RAM. That extra 2 gigs makes a big difference, especially when running artificial intelligence models on your device. If you tried to run the AI models on the 15 and 15 Plus, probably crash, right? It just wouldn't work. It would get super bogged down. Now, is 16 gigs overkill? Maybe, but look, I'd always rather have way more RAM than way less RAM, right? Trust me, stuff's getting bigger, apps are getting bigger, all this AI stuff's getting more complicated. These models are getting larger, more data. It needs to store that data, what it pulls. I'm talking about the AI functionality. So whatever it does in the background, it needs to pull that data, that information, and set it to the side. And that's what random access memory is for, RAM. Again, we're not talking about the storage, how many gigabytes. I have 128 gigs, 256 gigs. No. That's for files, for photos, for videos. We're talking about random access memory. That's the key memory that your devices really need to perform well under heavy loads, right? So, but getting back to these scores, the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Got a single, now this is Geekbench 6, right? Got a single core score of 1950 and got a multi-core score of 4655. Now this is with the Tensor G4 CPU. And as you can tell down here, can y'all see that? Can I increase that? No. All right. Anyway, y'all should be able to see it. It's kind of fuzzed out. But we got Android 14, Pixel 9 Pro XL, motherboard Komodo. Let's see. It's on the ARM architecture, obviously. So here it breaks down the different cores, octa-core CPU. But there we go. Very last piece of information. At the very bottom line, it says 15.19 gigabytes. Technically, it's 16 gigs. So that's nice. I'm always good to see that because there was a time where these Pixel devices only had 4 gigabytes of RAM. That was like from the OG Pixel. Which Pixel? Here's a pop quiz. What was the first Pixel to increase the RAM from 4? I think it was the Pixel 6. No. I think it was Pixel 5. Jumped up to 8 gigs, 6 or 8 gigs. Anyways, long story short, Google was stuck on 4 gigs of RAM for 4 years or so. Like Apple's been stuck on 6 gigs of RAM forever. And now they're just finally starting to bump the RAM up. So let's see here. What Daniel says, I think there's a lot of confusion on the internet about extra RAM needed for local LLM. Especially with iPhone. People are mad they aren't bringing it to iPhone 15 with 6 gigs. Yeah. And you know what? That wasn't explained. Like, it would probably, and I don't know why, like it would probably serve Apple right. Now, I'm not saying, oh yeah, probably they should. That's not widely explained here or in the tech world or publications or on YouTube or even the average person on the street. They hear that only the pro, and if you go on Reddit, it's funny. There's a bunch of people complaining. I'll go in there for entertainment just to get some laughs. But yeah, the average person just doesn't understand that, right? These new models are using an enormous amount of information and data. And it's imperative to have a ton of RAM. I'm interested to see what Google does with this upcoming quote-unquote AI. Because on Google's side, Samsung Galaxy AI, please, whatever. And you know what's disappointing? Even Pixel, when they launched this 8 series, it seemed like only a handful of functions were ready to roll at launch. And then, this will be out at a later date. We'll announce this at a later time. No, I believe everything needs to be a full go when you launch these things, because then that's how you get mad customers, right? I purchased this phone because you said it can do all this, and now I have to wait 5 months. I get it, time constraints, this and that, but if it's not ready, push it back to the next year, Look, most of this stuff is kind of cool, but is it really AI? I don't know. Now, what Nothing's talking about doing, that's really cool. That's really AI, right? I'm not sure if any of y'all caught that. And we may look into it a little bit tomorrow. But let's see. They keep shouting the processor is more powerful than enough, and refusing to believe RAM is an issue because of some of the services run in the cloud. Yeah. Let me compare these to my S24 Ultra, these scores. Let's see. So history. Jesus Christ. So I ran my last test on my S24 Ultra on Geekbench. The single core score on an S24 Ultra with a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 scored a single core score of 2222. The new upcoming Pixel 9 Pro XL that's not released yet scored 1950. And then the multi-core score on this Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 device was 6787. This is way behind at 4655. So it's a little bit behind on the single core score. Again, I got 2222. Pixel 9 Pro XL scored 1950. And then multi-core, I got 6787. And look at what the Pixel 9 Pro XL scored. Boy, oh boy. Golly. Look. Again, I wonder, I'm curious if the Pixel 9 has any Geekbench ML scores yet. I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure they have. I just don't think it's available. Let's see. Let's see here. And the standard, what was the standard Pixel 9 Pro, the smaller one? Oh my God, it got an even worse score. Oh no, wait, this is the standard Pixel 9, but it's still gonna have the same processor. They're all gonna have the same tensor chip. So the base Pixel 9 scored 1590 single score, 3821. Yikes. Not good. Now, again, I always gonna say this: benchmark's not the end all be all, right? You can't judge a device simply off their Geekbench scores, right? Look, this Pixel 8 Pro with the Tensor G3 got worse scores than what we're looking at, and it is very snappy, very quick, never any issues, right? But I don't play games, right? All my stuff is non-game stuff, and that's where the benchmarks really come into play, is if you're a gamer. But if you're gonna buy a sports car, if you're or a car or a sports car, what are the numbers you look at, right? A 0 to 60 in the quarter mile. That's basically, that translates to this. So you're not going to be flooring the car from 0 to 60 at every red light when it turns green. At every stop sign, you're not going to floor it and go a quarter mile, see what you can run a quarter mile in. But that's what it's capable of, right? That is what a benchmark is for these CPUs and these devices. It just shows you what it's capable of at max performance. Now, these scores are not flattering at all, and I can already tell they're going to get blasted by people online. Now, I'm not going to blast them because, again, I know it doesn't mean everything. You can score relatively low and still have a fast, snappy, fluid device, right? But the general public, the average Joe Blow, or somebody who thinks they know technology, they're just going to look at this and be like, it sucks. And they're just going to write it off just because of these scores. I mean, there's tons of people out there. I'm going to be interested in seeing, yes, Google, they always say, oh, it's not about benchmarks. It's not about this or that. It's about the overall experience, right? The machine learning, the AI. I get that, and I understand that to a certain point. But I don't even care that Google's not really up there with the Snapdragons of the world, with the Apple Bionic CPUs of the world. Shit, even MediaTek now, right? Like. But when you're this far behind, it doesn't really look good, right? But I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see. It's just a wait and see type of deal. Now, could the scores get better? Sure. They can still tweak all sorts of stuff in the CPU, with the kernel, with the operating system. But when you see it benchmarked, when you see the scores come out, that means they're trying to tweak it, right? They're running it to see what it can do. So we'll see. So this is not going to be the highest performing device. And remember, didn't Google block the benchmark tests on these devices the first couple weeks they were out? Could be the same thing, right? Up to launch, could kind of see mediocre scores. And then when they're released, it could get a little boost in performance, right? Again, it is a new CPU. But this score is not the one I'm really interested in. I'm really interested in next year's CPU. Again, I'm beating it like a dead horse, right? The next year's CPU is when everything changes. This is their last Exynos-based Tensor branded chip. Next year, it's all Google, 100%. Now, question. What if we're sitting here, same time, same place, and we're on eSIM Studios podcast number 500, right? A year from now. What if the Tensor scores, where they're fully in control, are very mediocre at best? Would that sway your opinion, knowing that? Because I'm not giving them a break on this, or I'm not giving them a mulligan, right? Just because it's an Exynos CPU. You know, they've had their issues in the past, and it's just one of those things. I'm not giving them, like, look, they planned this out very strategically, and everything's on them. Everything's on their shoulders. So I'm not giving them a pass at all. But I'm saying next year, if we're sitting in the same time, same place, just a year from now, where the Pixel 10 series is about to be launched, if they have and the Tensor G5 CPU benchmark scores leak, and we get very these are not average at best scores, mid-range pack. I don't know how I'm gonna feel, right? Maybe I'm expecting too much out of them. Maybe they're gonna stay on this path of don't worry about benchmark scores, worry about the experience. If I was Google, if I was in the Pixel department, that's what I would put out as far as the marketing press, or not. I wouldn't advertise it, but that's what I would put out. These publications, these big publications like Android Central, 9 to 5 Google, the editors in chief, the editors of these magazines, these big YouTubers, they talk behind the scenes of Google, and I do too. Just not like that. Like, they're not going to tell me that sort of stuff. They do ask me questions and all sorts of stuff, but not like that. That's what I would tell my marketing team, my PR team. Hey, let everybody know, let the publications know, let the YouTubers know that, yes, performance, is a something we have interest in, but we're ultimately interested in the overall experience. Something like that. So take it for what you will. It is what it is. We'll just have to wait and see. Check out the Made by. I've seen that. I don't think I've listened to that though. Season 4, episode 6. They discuss how. Oh yes, I that's the one episode I saw that. Was this just released, or has this been out for maybe a month or two? Yeah, I listened to that. That's been out for a month or two. I did listen to that. Yeah, and I get it, right? Like, that's why I'm not blasting them. Like, people are online. People online are just, talking a bunch of trash. And again, I get it, but yeah, November. Yeah. Oh shit, so it's been out a while. Okay, yeah, I've listened to that. It's a really good listen. Thank you for that recommendation. I'll link that episode once this is done. So whoever's listening to this later, or even you're listening to it now, come back and check this video's description box. Maybe a little later today, and I'll post the episode of that. I think everybody needs to listen to that. Yeah, I think everybody does. And I agree. These don't mean everything, but it does. Look, a large majority of people that look at this stuff, because look, there's a large, like my dad, my mom died, but my parents had Pixels, right? They're not looking at benchmark scores. They just want a new Pixel, right? And the people that do have a little interest in the tech and or news are probably just going to look at this headline and say, oh, shit, it's, they're going to think negatively about it. But people like us who are kind of nerds about this, like, I understand what they're doing. It's just hard to convince some dope in Reddit comments, trying to type out and explain what Google's doing, when they just automatically write them off. There's a part where they say how most chips use a portion of their chip when processing, for example, a photo, whereas Tensor lights up almost the whole chip to make most out of all the parts. Yeah. And I think what we're going to see, that's why I'm so excited to see what they have in store for us on the Pixel 10. I think that's when the magic really happens for Google. I think that's when the Pixel really takes off. Because look, for this Pixel 9, they have a really nice design language. Like, it looks really, really nice. It looks very nice. But they don't really... Again, Pixel 10, as long as they keep the same design language, they have full control. Because remember, they're constricted to what the Exynos, how it's constructed. Google is constricted to how they can get this CPU to perform, because they're at the mercy of Samsung. They didn't design it, right? They added some stuff here and there, and you can modify how it acts and behaves and what it does when in certain instances. But when you build the thing from the ground up, that's when you can really, really make cool things happen, right? And I think that's kind of where we're at. So, look, in my opinion, am I still getting the Pixel 9 series? Hell yeah. But I'm going to be... It's kind of like an off year. And I hate to say that, because I'm still going to be excited about this one because it looks so good. But I'm pushing all my chips in to the middle of the table for the Pixel 10. I think if they can nail the launch of the Pixel 10, and assuming they continue to make relatively, and they don't have any overheating issues, or, as long as they can keep on this pace, I think they're going to be in a good spot moving forward. Because remember, we talked about it last few days. Apple's got big plans in the next 2 to 3, 4 years. Huge plans for their devices. Like, it's going to take off even more so than what it already has. But you're going to get that excitement back, right? We were talking about people lining up outside the Apple stores. What was it, like iPhone 4 or 5. Now people don't line up, and probably still won't. But I'm just saying, because back then you didn't really order online as much as you do now. But I'm just saying, overall excitement, right? You're going to get that excitement back from Apple users when Apple starts putting out this iPhone 17 Slim, iPhone Flip, right? MacBook Foldable, iPad Fold. People's heads are going to explode, right? So Samsung coming out with a new design, S25. Their foldables are getting better and better and better. So, look, smartphone wars are just getting started. So, I'm excited to see. And look, like I said, I'm going to get a Pixel 9. Well, we're getting a multiple Pixel 9s. So, I just don't know if I'm going to get the Fold. But, we'll figure that out. But, anyways, I'm still getting one, and I'm still going to love it. So, look, even if this is not really impressive, still going to be a very good user experience, because this is a great experience. I mean, it just is. Again, you wouldn't be able to tell we'll end it at this. From using this device, and these are even on this Pixel 8 series, has lesser scores than what we saw here. You wouldn't be able to tell by using it, right? Now, again, I don't play games. Maybe if I played games, I would drop some frame rates and stuff like that. But I do heavy multitasking, business-oriented phone editing, clipping stuff, making videos. So I can't tell. Now, is my Samsung faster at, throwing a video together? Yeah, it is. But it's very fluid, very fast, and nice experience. You're going to go with the Pro this year? Daniel says, I think I'm going to go with the mid-size Pixel this year. Love that they will have 3 models. Man, me too. Me too. That Pixel 8 that I got a few weeks ago, like, it's about time that they ante up their small model and make it a legit one-to-one copy of their larger Pro model, right? Because you can tell, even using the smaller Pixel 8, you can still kind of tell it's not, flagship. It's not top of the line like the Pixel 8 Pro. Very excited to see them put a Pro version in a small form factor. And I think tons of people are going to buy that. I guarantee you tons of people are going to buy it. I think that demand is higher than what they anticipate. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they know it's going to sell and that's why they're doing it. But lots of people are going to get the small Pro. They're just going to have the same camera. I mean, it's about time. Let's see. So stay tuned to the channel. Now, we have not heard much of the new Fold. There were some early leaks, right, with the pictures. Even the in real life photo, right, with the weird camera hump on the back. Haven't seen much of that. Now look, we're getting close. We're only 3 months away. Is that right? We're in June, July. 4 months away, but you know what I mean. I was thinking of the iPhone. 4 months away, but now, if you're at Google, now everything's set in stone as far as what the device looks now. They've had this design set in stone for, I'm assuming, at least a year. But as far as all the components in there, they've been testing these devices, obviously Geekbench. But I say that to say this. 4 months away from launch time. Now, you're not going to manufacture them right now, but I think maybe in late July or August, here in about 2 months, you're going to start producing them, manufacturing them, right? So I forgot what I was going to say, but anyways, beautiful device. Oh, the Fold. Yes, the Fold. It should have the same specs as the Pro XL. Now, I think the 9 Pro, the small Pro, that's not going to have 16 gigs. I believe the 16 gig version will be exclusive to the Pro XL and the Fold 2. I think the small one is going to have a base RAM of 12, I believe. I think they'll put the Pixel 9 Pro, 12 gigs of RAM, and then the Pro XL and Fold 2 will have the 16 gigs of RAM. I think that's what they're doing. So, very interesting. Love that design, and man, could not look better. So, now, how many of y'all are T-Mobile users out there? How many of y'all are T-Mobile users out there? I am, unfortunately, a T-Mobile user. I say unfortunate because as a T-Mobile user, probably for the last, I don't know, I have my account here. I don't want to pull it up on screen, but probably for the last 8 years, something like that, we've seen roughly, I don't know, 6 or 7 data leaks, breaches, right? And from customer information out there. I've also seen numerous price increases, right? Which they're about to do here, I think, this week as well. So your next billing cycle, your bill should be higher. So yeah, it has me looking elsewhere, right? I love Google Fi, but remember, I am in this dead spot. So I am in the middle of testing. I just downloaded eSIM from Verizon. Newsflash, if you want to test these SIMs, you can get completely free service by doing this. You can actually go throughout all these test services. Now they're going to give you a different number every time you get a new test service, but if you don't care, whatever. But check this out. Go to eSIMstudios.app. Go to Get Service section. Go to Try Carrier Service for free. Here I have listed all of the free services that you can try. Some, the trial versions are a week. Some are 2 weeks. Some are a month. Verizon, T-Mobile, a month free. So it's 2 months free service. I think they're unlimited too. Data, talk, text. Cricket, 2 weeks. Google Fi, 1 week. But look at all this I have here. So what I did, I was like, damn, I haven't tested Verizon in a while. I think it's been about a year. I was like, you know what? We're in a dead spot, so I'm testing services. All different SIMs. I got a Boost Mobile for the Boost Infinite SIM over here, and I got a ton of phones. So I got Google Fi, T-Mobile, Boost Infinite, as I said. I got Cricket, Verizon. So I'm testing all these services. I'm in a dead spot. So I'm trying to find which service provider gives me the very best signal where I'm located. AT&T, honestly, no lie. And it all depends. Just because I say AT&T, I get the best signal and where I'm sitting, doesn't mean you're going to get the best signal with AT&T where you're sitting. It's purely geographical. Purely depends on where you are physically located when it comes to signal strength, download speeds, what have you. But long story short, go to eSIMstudios.app, go to the Get Service section, and you can sign up for your... Look, Verizon eSIM trial, 2 minutes, and boom, you got a month free of unlimited Verizon data. Who else is... So Boost Infinite is SIM card only, physical SIM. AT&T and or Cricket is physical SIM. But I think all the other ones are eSIM, which makes it very easy, right? eSIM Studios. Anyways, back to T-Mobile. So check this out. Bad news. Lord have mercy. Continues to get hit after hit to their consumer. So most of the consumers, right? If you're buying a cell phone, majority, and I think I'm not going to waste your time. I think it's like 80-something% of United States cell phone users, which by now incorporates most everybody, 80-something% of United States citizens that use a smartphone get their phone via a carrier. Meaning, when you go into T-Mobile, you need a phone. They say, hey, here's this S24 Ultra, right? Or I guess a better example would be this Plus, because usually they cap the bill credits at $1,000. So they'll say, you walk into T-Mobile and say, hey, I need service, looking to get service. What you got for me? And say, well, we got a good plan, blah 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 blah, and I can get you this S24 Plus for free, right? The plan comes with $1,000 credits. You like this S24 Plus? We'll give it to you for free. Just sign here and pay here. Well, when you're signing, you're getting the phone for free, but technically it's through bill credits, right? So no matter what phone, and this, what T-Mobile is doing today is specific to T-Mobile. However, I think this is going to become an industry trend. I think you're going to see AT&T do this eventually. I don't know, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. Verizon, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. I believe this is going to be an industry trend. So what am I talking about? So T-Mobile will soon prevent early payoff of phones that are receiving bill credits. So if you see a phone, now this is specific to bill credits. So when you get a new plan, there's 2 ways, well actually 3 ways you can get a phone through a carrier. You can just buy it flat out at the retail cost, right? Like shell over $1,000 in cash or debit or credit to purchase this, and then you get service. Then you own the phone, right? Technically, you're just buying it from T-Mobile. That's one way. Two ways is you can finance the device on your plan. So if you're on a T-Mobile plan, and let's say you call into T-Mobile or you go to a T-Mobile store and they say, hey, what's your account info? They get your name, number, look up your account. They go, oh, what do you know? You're due for an upgrade. Do you want a new iPhone? Do you want a new Samsung phone? And you're just like, yeah. And they're like, it's only $28 a month. We can finance it through here and you're out the door. So that's another way. Financing it, basically paying $28, $30, $40 a month. Every month for everyone's different. T-Mobile's 24 months, AT&T's 36 months, whatever. You get the idea. The longer the term, the lesser amount per month you got to pay. That's the second way. Third way is bill credits. So that's the key is with bill credits is when you see the word free. Is it free? Not really, but you get the idea. I mean, so what they're doing is bill credits. So they're financing the phone and it's going to be added on to your plan monthly, but they go back and then credit that amount to your bill to zero out what you paying per month on this device, right? So that's the third way, and a ton of people do it that way. Not many people pay it outright. The first example I gave, not many. I think majority of people do the financing, right? The deal where you pay $28 a month, so it's paid off. And the minority, I don't know what it is, but the minority, but it's still a lot of people, especially when you're talking about T-Mobile, is bill credits. And that's when you see the word free. Whenever you see free, think of bill credits, right? So T-Mobile's not going to let you, because here's why this is important. I was looking into leaving T-Mobile to go to AT&T, right? I finally got the freaking SIM card to work, and it gets better service here, AT&T, where I'm sitting, than any other carrier so far. So I was like, let's see how much it's going to cost to leave T-Mobile and go over to AT&T, right? So I see this pop up today, and I'm like, damn, is this a coincidence? Because literally when I was on AT&T's website, I see this headline. Like, what the hell is going on? Because part of my deal, leaving T-Mobile, I have a phone that we purchased through financing, regular financing, $28, $30, $32 a month, right? And then I have another phone that was free. I got via bill credits, right? So T-Mobile's going to implement where they know that's why you're paying off the device. They're not going to let you pay off the device early. So, they just said that. They're just not letting you pay off any bill credit devices early. You have to see through the plan until it's completed. They're strong arming you to be locked in to a bad deal, essentially, because they're not letting you. That's your given, like that's your right. I mean, it's in the fine print. I know it's in the details, right? If you're not satisfied, I've upgraded so many times throughout the years. I can't tell. I was like, you know what? This time I'm gonna read through the whole thing. I think I got barely halfway, and I was like, this is just gibberish. But they're going to put this in the fine print starting soon. You cannot pay off early a device that was given to you on bill credits. I think this news is going to fly over a lot of people's heads, and it's going to bite them in the ass when you want to leave T-Mobile and you want to go to AT&T or Verizon or Google Fi or a Cricket, right? This is going to bite you in the ass when you're least expecting it. And it's going to keep you locked in a bad deal for the remainder of the term, whether it's 6 months, 12 months, what have you. So this is not good news. Another week, another questionable business decision from T-Mobile. For ages now, T-Mobile has offered phone promotions for 24-month bill credits. These include deals for trade-ins and new lines, and customers would receive a bill credit spread out over the length of the installment plan, EIP. Now, typically, T-Mobile is 24 months. Every carrier is different, but T-Mobile has traditionally been 24 months. Customers had always had the option to pay off their devices early. That's what I was going to do today and switch, but I had a podcast to do, so I didn't get around to it. But customers have always had the option to pay off their devices early, and their bill credits would continue, right? So this allowed customers to get some of their credit limit back to start new EIPs, new installment plans, or go to another carrier, which is what I was going to do. So according to a document that was shared, this document shows T-Mobile will soon require any devices receiving bill credits, and it's called reoccurring device credits in the industry, to maintain an accompanying installment plan. So they're saying you can't pay off this device. Excuse me. So what they're saying is each line essentially has to be tied to a device, right? If a customer were to pay off their device early, the bill credits would stop. Obviously, this isn't a pro-consumer move. Many consumers, including myself, enjoyed a freedom of being able to pay off devices early and keep the bill credits. As long as you stayed a customer, it shouldn't matter, right? Apparently, that's no longer the case. There's one silver lining. Existing devices purchased on EIP before July 1st are not impacted. So this is going to come into effect July 1st. So you got about 3 weeks before this becomes a real thing. It says, so yeah, so if you are interested in doing a phone with bill credits that you can pay off early, you better do it now. Or before July 1st, or you'll be able to pay it off early and keep the bill credits after that, right? Because you're going to owe all that money, and they're going to hold you to it. It's unclear why T-Mobile is making the change. It's possible they want to reduce the number of customers buying devices via promo, paying them off, and then selling them. Typically, that's not how it works. I don't think... Who is the author of this? Because it sounds like a person that's not really connected to phone sales. It doesn't say. It's probably the owner of this website, kind of like I do on mine. But that's not necessarily how it works. You want to know how it works in the real world out here on these streets? Let me tell you. Let me tell you what goes on. Night and day, hand over fist. So a lot of people, and you could get screwed. Tons of people get screwed. So I don't agree with that statement. Where was it? Right here. Customers buying devices via the promo, paying them off, and selling them. No, that's not how it goes. So how it goes is people will buy phones via promo code right here. Remember that store I was telling you about? We'll give you this for free. If you like trade-in, right? Like a trade-in device. We'll give you this for free if you trade in a S9, right? Remember those stories? Remember where I can go on eBay and get a S9 for $100, trade that in, and you can get this phone for free, and it's $1,000. So you essentially get this for $1,000. Well, guess what? Essentially get this for $100. Guess what? Most people are doing that. However, they're not paying them off early. They're getting this device for essentially $100, and then they're jumping on Mercari. They're jumping on OfferUp. They're getting on Facebook Marketplace, and they're putting this for sale for $900, right? So they essentially pocket $800, and either they're still paying on a T-Mobile plan to keep that device active, or a lot of times people just say screw it and don't pay their bill, and then 2 or 3 weeks later when your bill is due and you haven't paid it, the line gets cut to this phone, and then the new person that bought it, it's like, hey, what the hell's going on? I can't tell you how many stories I've had of people that said, I bought this phone used like a few weeks ago, and it just stopped working. Well, that's what's going on. People are getting these off for free, or on bill credits, and then they're turning around and selling them for a huge profit, and then saying screw the bill. That's just what's going on. Let's see. It says the company's recent acquisition of Mint Mobile required the company to commit to a reasonable unlock policy. And T-Mobile's own customers just have to use the device on network for 40 days before unlocking. Requiring customers to stay on an installment to receive promos could be a way around the Genius unlock policies to prevent people from buying and selling devices. That's a way they're trying to combat it. As you mentioned, the story I just told you, you get this $1,000 device essentially for free, or $100. Turn around and sell it, making $800. T-Mobile knows this. The carriers know what's going on, and that's why they put an unlock policy where it cannot be unlocked, period, until it has 40 calendar days of usage on the T-Mobile network, meaning the SIM or eSIM is in there. You're making some calls. You're shooting off some text messages. It's sending and receiving some data before they'll unlock it. But that still doesn't prevent these quick sales, because even if the person buying it has T-Mobile, you put your T-Mobile SIM in any T-Mobile phone, even if you bought it on bill credits, it'll work. It just won't work if you put an AT&T SIM in there or a Verizon SIM, because it's locked, right? You have to get it unlocked. But even if you sell it to a person that has T-Mobile, it'll look like everything works fine. Anyways, that's the news. Be on the lookout, right, for stuff like this. And these are always news stories that I'm going to bring forward, because it does affect you, and it's going to get you when you least expect it, and it's going to be a pain in the ass. So be on the lookout. But let me run. I've been on here for about an hour or so. Subscribe to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel. We're on Twitter, or X. We're on Instagram. All the links are in the description box below. And we will hit you up tomorrow, same time. Trying to be a little earlier, but I'm never good with time. So I'll always be trying to record the podcast a little earlier than I'm supposed to, and it will never work out. So anyways, sometime tomorrow afternoon, join us again. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notified whenever we do go live. Make sure you go, oh, you know what? I need to put a new giveaway at eSIMstudios.app. I'll do that. Go to eSIMstudios.app. I'm going to do a new giveaway. So remember that website I was showing you earlier? That's mine. But scroll down here, eSIMstudios.app. Where are we? Giveaway. Hit up giveaway. Now, this one just ended, but I'm about to do a new one, okay? And find something cool. But yeah, so I appreciate it. We will talk tech tomorrow. And you know what? Yeah, I got something cool I'll give away. So stay tuned for that. Peace out. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it. Appreciate the time, sir.